I was having a conversation with my friend about a day ago, and he was talking about this friend that was trying to sabotage his relationship, or trying. It seemed like he was trying to move to his girl, right? And we basically got to the topic of like fake friends, well, something I brought up. Because when he was telling me all these things, in my head I was just like, you have to cut him off, right? And he came to that conclusion. But it got me thinking about this clip I saw of Robert Greene. I don't know if you guys know Robert Greene, but he's like the author of the 48 Laws of Power. I'm sure you've heard of that book if you're in the self-improvement space. But anyways, he knows about the interactions between humans, and like the 48 Laws of Power that's a heavy book. And it's because he knows about, like, the chess games that are played between people. When you watch like the Peaky Blinders or Suits, or there's like movies where there's always like it's just like high level thinking and like manipulations and getting people to act a certain way by standing a certain way, projecting yourself a certain way. When you watch those analysis videos, those body language analysis videos, Tommy Shelby analysis videos, right? Just that kind of thing. That's what 48 Laws of Power is like based on. He basically came up with it from just all the years he spent in different industries in the workforce, and he was just seeing things, and he was noticing like things that happen between human interactions and how they manipulate each other's. The 48 Laws of Power, like how they get power. He also wrote like The Art of Seduction, and you basically get the idea when you hear about like The Art of Seduction. It's like, how do you seduce someone? Like, you do like mirroring, right? Which is like they do something and you do like a similar thing to them. That's the idea behind it, right? But anyways, Robert Greene, he knows about like human interactions and how you can like see things in people, right? The clip that I saw, and I have not forgotten it since then, and I won't forget it. He was basically saying you need to watch how your friends react when you tell them good or bad news, right? When you tell people good news, right, you might see, like for a lot of people, you'll see like a micro expression just for a split second, right? You've told them good news for a split second. They look kind of like sad or kind of annoyed, right? And then they quickly fix up and then they're like happy for you, right? Or when you tell them bad news, right? Again, for a split second, you see like a little twinkle in their eye. They're kind of excited like to hear like something bad has happened to you. And then they very quickly fix up and be like, oh, I'm sorry, man, or whatever it is. And when I thought about it, I was like, oh my word. And it's something cool to like realize, but when you see it, basically the premise behind it is that you have people that act, they purport to be your friends, but they don't really care about you deep down, right? Like, it's that old adage of like, be careful of people that want you to do well, but not better than them, right? And those kinds of people you need to cut off, okay? And the thing is, they're not inherently bad people. They're not like malicious people. The thing is, you're probably one of those people to certain people, right? We all have like a list in our head. It's not like a physical list. You haven't like thought about it, but you know the people that are like really important to you. You're really rooting for them. You want like the best for them. You'd be happy if they did better than you. But for most people on that list, that's probably not the case. That's probably like a handful of people that you're really rooting for, if you even have that, right? I mean, I've seen this Instagram reel where it's like growing up is realizing that your dad is the only person who wants you to do better than him. And it's a sobering realization because, again, like most people, including you don't want other people to do better than you for the most part. And it's also, it's a very sobering realization, right? Because you're like, well, I have friends that are like real friends. I need to be aware of that. I shouldn't be like kind of sad when I hear that they're doing good, or when they tell me something bad. Like, you also need to realize that in yourself, right? In the clip you were saying watch for that in people when you tell them bad news, but watch it for yourself, right? Like, reflect on yourself. Be like, how am I reacting when people tell me bad news? How am I feeling inside? When my friend, who I think I'm really close friends with, when he tells me oh, I haven't studied today, right, and it makes me feel better, like, what does that say about me? You get what I mean? And it doesn't inherently make you a bad person, but it's just something to be aware of. And the people that you care about and the people you don't really care about, right? And when that's happening with like your best friend, or your best friend messages like, oh, I haven't studied this whole week, or you're struggling with something, and inside of you it's like you kind of get like a good feeling because it's like it's less pressure on you. Like, you need to talk to yourself, be like, come on, man, that's not right. And that's something I've been doing with myself. But going back to the topic at hand, you realize most people are like that. And like I said, they're not inherently bad people. They think they're being good friends. Just like I said with you right now, you think you're being a good friend to like your friends, but then when you really ask yourself, do I really want this person to do better than me? Will I be happy if they're doing better than me, right? And when you realize that's not the case for most people, and once that happens, you need to be cutthroat. When you realize that there are people that don't really want the best for you, and you know the people. If you were to put down a list of the people you consider your friends, and you just to give a split-second decision on like, are these people my real friends? Like, would they be happy for me if I'm doing better than them? You get a hell of a lot of no's on that list. And those people, I'm not saying you need to be like cutthroat, be like stop talking to them. But like, you know, be cordial, like be nice. Okay, like you don't need to make a big deal out of everything, but don't confide in those people. Okay, and you realize you probably have like one or two if you're lucky on your list. And that's fine, because those are like your real friends. You don't want to be spilling the tea, to use a women term. You don't want to be spilling the tea to people that don't care about you. Because I had something like this happen to me earlier this year, right? And that's when I was like, yeah. Okay, so I had this friend, right? And a friend. And I kind of knew, like, you know, these people, they're not really like rooting for me. They're not like real friends. But it was like it was like the nail in the coffin, right? Because I like told them something kind of personal, and I don't think like they took well to that. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I told them, right? But then I found out that they went and told another one of my friends, and then that guy, he told me, right? Because we're also friends, and he was telling me that, oh, they know about that. And in my head I was like, I told you specifically not to tell anybody, and you went and you told the my other friend. And since then, like, I've not been like talking to that person as much. Like, again, I said I'm cordial because we're like in the same class, so I'm cordial with it, but I'm not confiding in you. I'm not messaging you. I'm not telling you anything. You as far as I'm concerned, I don't know you anymore. Like, you're not a friend to me, right? And again, another thing that I learned from that was they gossip a lot. And you know that old saying, it's like, don't sit at a table where people gossip, because when you leave, you're going to be the next topic. And for me, like, when it happened, it was a bit like, damn, but also I wasn't surprised, because I knew like, oh, this person they're not the best friend. They're like quite self-centered. But when that happens, I was like, okay, I'm done, like, yeah. And you need to do that with people. You need to be like, but it doesn't even need to get to that, right? But again, that clip I'm telling you about, where it's like, just look for like micro expressions. When you tell people good news, when you tell them, oh, I didn't get like a good mark, or you know, like, you guys are kind of competing with someone else in the class, they act like they're your friend, and then you tell them, oh, I got a bad mark. You kind of see that little twinkle in their eyes. Don't confide in those people. They're not your real friends. Okay, and if you end up with 0, that's fine, right? You can like cut off, and then you can build a new circle, right? A new circle of like genuine people, and you want genuine people, and you will know like those genuine people. You know, those people who are like, we're trying to invite you to stuff, for example. And again, I'm not saying that being invited to something is an immediate indicator of someone being a good person, or someone caring about you. But you know what I mean. They're those people who genuinely want you to do well, right? They don't have like any kind of malice towards you. You know those people. It's that old saying. I mean, like, I don't know if this applies in terms of like the relationship side, but the people say like, oh, choose someone who chooses you, in terms of like relationships. I'm not sure, like that's a topic for a different time. But when it comes to friends, that does apply, right? Like, choose people who choose you, like people who are genuine towards you. That's the number one thing you need to look for. And again, there's a reason why people say keep your circle small, right? And when you go in with that mentality, it's a lot easier to be like, well, like right now for me, I think I told you, I think I've got a really close friend in my class. He's definitely one. I know he's a genuine friend. And then, yeah, maybe I've got like 1 or 2 other people, but I don't see them very often. So for me, I don't really put them in that bucket. I still put them in the bucket of like genuine. Like, I'll tell them stuff. Like, if something bad happens or something like personal happens, and I see them, I'll talk to them. But again, they're not like those people I'm seeing every day. But like, again, it's only a handful of people, and that's fine. You need to cut off the people who don't really want you to win. But yeah, I've hammered the point home. I hope you understand what I mean. But it can have very serious consequences for you. I'm just saying. So you should take this seriously. And you also just have some self-respect. You don't want to be with people who secretly want you to lose. Like, what's that going to do for you? But yeah, if you're looking to like meet like new friends and make a new circle, I've got a Discord. You can join that. I'm also looking to create like a close friend group of like really like-minded like Christian guys, who are like between the age of 20 and 22, around my age. I'm 21. If you are interested, you can DM me. Just DM me group so I can see. Because I get like a lot of DMs. I just want to know, like, oh, you want that, and then I can respond to you. Yeah, you can join the Discord. If you fit like that criteria, you can DM me. And yeah, I've also got a video on how to like make. I've got a complete video on how to make friends or create a new friend group. Yeah, it should be somewhere on my channel. But make sure you subscribe to join the Self Improvement Brotherhood. And until next time, see you boys.